up. I don't give a dude. Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional.
Joe Rogan just found out Jake Paul backed out of his fight with Mike Tyson, and he didn't hold back. Initially, Jake was full of confidence, bragging he'd beat the old man and become the conqueror. But during a recent press conference, Jake shocked everyone by announcing he's quitting the match. Before we explore Rogan's fiery reaction, here's why he's so furious about this unexpected turn of events. Take a look at this.
I literally can't wait to look across the ring and see him and give him a death stare. I want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin. People know that. Like, I take shots. So I think people are underestimating that me being able to deal with his power. And that is what something that is going to make it interesting.
These are just Jake Paul's words of confidence offer a glimpse into his desperation to fight Mike Tyson. Determined to prove he can take down the legend of legends, Jake can't wait to show the world that this former Disney star turned YouTuber has what it takes to hit Tyson. While Jake's ability to generate attention and massive pay-per-view sales is impressive, his career has faced plenty of criticism, especially regarding the level of competition he's fought. His recent loss to Tommy Fury exposed the challenges Jake faces against more experienced boxers. Although he boasts wins over NBA players and fellow YouTubers who treated boxing as a fun challenge, beating Tyson is an entirely different ballgame. That's where Jake made a critical mistake, thinking he could defeat the boxing legend. It's a decision he can't undo. To add to the spectacle, Jake even leaked his own training footage, fueling more buzz around the fight. Jake Paul has been targeting Mike Tyson with a team of trainers prepping him for the legendary fight. At one point, he even taunted, Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see," borrowing Muhammad Ali's iconic line. With Ali's words and Tyson's tattoos, Jake was gearing up for the ring with a YouTuber's mindset. Naturally, he faced heavy criticism. Boxing experts warned him not to make the fight official or he'd regret it, but Jake didn't listen. As tickets were nearly sold out and anticipation built, Jake shocked everyone by announcing he was quitting the fight. Given all of this, Joe Rogan's reaction seems completely justified. His first words on the podcast when hearing the news were explosive.
I don't give a dude. Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer.
Yes, Jake Paul called out a real boxer, the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, but now he's quitting the fight. Okay, Jake, we get it. You want to save your life. You've realized that this exhibition won't be like Roy Jones Jr.'s match, where there were rules about no headshots. This time, you'd have to take Tyson's punches straight to the face and maybe even get insurance for your body parts. Once that reality hit, poof, you're out. Joe Rogan's frustration is understandable. He saw Jake's overconfidence as a ticking time bomb. Jake talked big, borrowing phrases from legends like Muhammad Ali and hyping himself up. But when it came to facing the brutal reality of standing toe-to-toe with Tyson, he seemed to back out. Rogan's anger is more than justified. Like many fans, he was eagerly anticipating this clash of generations, only to be disappointed by Jake's retreat. And it's not like Jake canceled the fight out of nowhere. He built up all the hype, only to bail at the last moment. He showed signs of fear a few days back while sitting with Mike Tyson. He said,
I love this sport.
All that stuff you just said don't mean shit. You never drew 100 million people or 70 million people to the fight, have you?
Around like 75 million.
You never helped boxing before. Boxing helped you.
But that's what the sport needed.
Fight.
No way. Bro, like, shut up.
Jake was trying to tell Mike that everything he does is for the sport or entertainment. But asking Iron Mike for a fight goes beyond that. Elite means something rare, something not accessible to everyone, and Mike Tyson is that kind of boxer. Facing Tyson isn't just entertainment, it's stepping into the ring with a legend. As Joe Rogan said,
Like, I'm watching the combinations he throws, his movement, the way he steps and sets up shots, the way he's countering. He's a very high-level boxer. He's a real professional caliber boxer.
Jake can't just mess around with Tyson for fun. Tyson roasted him, asking, have you ever drawn 100 million or even 75 million people? The answer is clearly no. Jake hasn't and probably can't do that on his own. That's why he asked Tyson to step in. Joe Rogan revealed the real reason behind Jake's move. explaining that Jake needed Tyson's star power to bring in the massive audience he couldn't achieve alone.
It's a brilliant move by Jake because, like, if he was going to fight anybody else, people would watch, but would the same amount of people watch? No.
Jake Paul could never have attracted such a massive viewership on his own, or even by fighting someone else. But with Mike Tyson in the ring, people went wild. Fans were eager to see Tyson take down Jake. And now that the fight has been canceled, disappointment and frustration have set in. Jake has invited a lot of negativity upon himself by disrespecting Tyson, a man who is not just a boxing legend, but an undisputed heavyweight champion. Mike Tyson started boxing at the age of 10, and it all began with a pigeon. After another boy killed one of his pigeons, Tyson retaliated physically, and that moment sparked his entry into the world of fighting and boxing. Tyson's love for pigeons has remained constant throughout his life, and even at the peak of his fame, he has maintained pigeon coops and continues to care for them. Now, considering Tyson has been punching for 48 years and dominating a sport that requires unmatched skill, how could Jake, with just 4 years of experience, believe he could take down someone with Tyson's level of expertise? It was a huge miscalculation. Joe Rogan put it bluntly.
Joe Frazier had been talking shit about Tyson, that if he was in his prime, he'd beat Tyson. And so he had his son fight Tyson, and it was an execution. It was an execution.
Joe Rogan's confidence in Mike Tyson stems from having seen him in his prime. He knows firsthand how devastating Tyson's punches can be. One of the best examples of Tyson's raw power was his fight against Marvis Frazier. The bout lasted only 30 seconds, with Tyson knocking Frazier out in the first round, showcasing his explosive power and aggressive style. Imagine that 30 seconds, just enough time to move from one corner of the ring to the other, and what happened in between made history for both Mike and Frazier. Critics say Frazier was terrified that day, mentally numb from the moment Tyson began. Frazier didn't even have time to think about his next move before Tyson ended the fight. Roy Jones Jr., another boxing legend, also shared a memorable story with fellow legends Shane Mosley and Mike Tyson. He admitted that Tyson is still the hardest puncher he's ever faced. Jones recalled, "The first time he hit me in the chest, it felt like a mule had kicked me." That vivid description of Tyson's power paints a clear picture. Imagine being hit with such force that it feels like a mule's kick. That's Tyson's strength, a force that has left a lasting impression on everyone who has ever stepped into the ring with him. Jones also mentioned,
"If he hits anybody with a shot like that, they are either going out or down, especially guys who are not used to being hit like that."
Unlike seasoned heavyweight champions like Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, who have withstood Tyson's powerful blows, Jake Paul lacks the experience and resilience needed to absorb such punishing strikes. Roy Jones Jr. compared Paul to these heavyweight legends, highlighting the huge gap in experience and conditioning. While Holyfield and Lewis could endure Tyson's onslaught, Paul would like, Jones further emphasized.
"With guys like Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, these guys are bigger and can take it, but Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to be able to take that. If it hits him on the chin like that, we'll see, but it's going to be tough for him."
It's going to be tough for him, Joe Rogan remarked, questioning Jake Paul's ability to handle Tyson's power. Similarly, heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk had harsh words for Paul as part of a promotional segment for his upcoming fight with Tyson Fury. In a word association game, when asked about Jake Paul, Usyk's response was blunt: "Stop boxing." This simple statement reflects the challenges Paul faces as he juggles his influencer career with professional boxing. Usyk's words hit hard, suggesting Paul may need to rethink his path in the sport. Rogan didn't stop there, dropping even more truth bombs about Jake's uncertain future in professional boxing. Jones remarked,
"Look, man, after taking hits like that, I wouldn't be surprised if Jake decided to hang up the gloves for good. He's young. He's got his whole life ahead of him. And there's no shame in walking away to protect your health." Joe has a point. Boxing is no joke.
Joe makes a valid point. Boxing is no joke, especially when facing a heavyweight legend like Tyson. One wrong move could mean game over, not just for the fight, but for Jake's entire career. While Jake might brush off the risks and act like it's no big deal, he has to be considering Joe's words. Perhaps this is a sign that it's time for him to hang up the gloves and shift his focus elsewhere. After all, There's more to life than just being a boxer, right? Rogan continued.
Yo, Mike Tyson still hits the gym every single day, dude. And let me tell you, he's still got that devastating power he's famous for. Like, dang, talk about staying in...
You might have seen Mike Tyson not just doing light workouts, but training with Rafael Cordero, a legend in the MMA world and the founder of King's MMA. Watching Tyson smash those pads held by Cordero is like witnessing a force of nature. His power and intensity are still palpable, ready to take down anyone who steps into the ring with him. So when you listen to Joe Rogan, you can sense the seriousness in his voice. He's trying to make Jake Paul understand that Tyson is not to be underestimated, regardless of his age. Will Mike forgive Jake for this insult, or are we on the brink of a whole new era of battles?